The regiment, which would become the Bedfordshire Regiment, was originally raised in 1688 and during the first 4 decades of its existence was involved in a long list of wars, campaigns, battles and sieges. Until 1751 it was known by the names of the 10 colonels who commanded it, until a standardisation of the British Army structure saw it become the 16th Regiment of Foot, being the 16th most senior line regiment. 1782 saw regiments associated to counties to encourage recruitment, the regiment becoming the 16th Buckinghamshire Regiment of Foot. In 1809 the colonels of the 14th and 16th Foot exchanged titles. The 14th Foot's colonel held significant lands in Buckinghamshire, hence his interest, after which the regiment would become the 16th Bedfordshire Regiment of Foot. The Indian mutinies and Crimean War of the 1850s had exposed failings in the British military structure, so a further reorganisation saw all regiments up to the 25th expanded to include a 2nd Regular Battalion. In line with this, the 2nd Battalion was raised. 1873 saw the Army reorganised into brigade districts, the 16th Foot being assigned to the 33rd Brigade District, which included the counties of Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. A permanent regimental barracks and depot in Kempston was built, which was completed in 1876. In 1881, the Childers reforms resulted in numerical titles being dropped and the Bedfordshire Regiment was created. In truth, the 16th was still being used administratively as late as World War II, presumably it was just easier to write 16. 1908 saw Haldane's reforms, which caused another reorganisation. Militia units were formed into a National Reserve, the 3rd and 4th Battalions being the Bedfordshire Regiment's reserves, and the Rifle Volunteer units were merged into 2 battalions of the newly created Territorial Force, being the 5th Battalion and a Hertfordshire Battalion. The latter would form the separate Hertfordshire Regiment the following year, being a single battalion Territorial Force Regiment. During the Great War, the regiment was expanded and included 7 active service battalions and a host of additional home service and garrison battalions. After the war, the Army was reduced to its peacetime complement again. In July 1919, the Hertfordshire Regiment was merged back into the Bedfordshires to become the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment. The resulting regiment was reduced to 2 regular battalions, 1 reserve and 1 territorial battalion. The Second World War saw the regiment increase once more, with battalions serving in Europe, North Africa, the Middle and Far East, until reduced to its pre-war structure once more in 1945. In 1948, the 2nd Battalion was disbanded as a part of the latest restructure, and a further reduction to the size of the British Army in June 1958 saw the regiment merged with the Essex Regiment to form the 3rd East Anglian Regiment (16th/44th Foot). 1964 saw that unit become part of the newly raised Royal Anglian Regiment, and although the direct lineage back to 1688 was broken by this merger, D Company of the 2nd Battalion is associated to Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire now. Although there was speculation that 2 Royal Anglian was being disbanded as a part of 2021 defence cutbacks, they're still active at the time of recording.